definitions of guilt and shame. Guilt is when you judge or feel bad about something you've done. Shame is when you take it personally, you make it about you. You judge or dislike something that you are or that you think you are. You've made it about your being rather than something you did. And it's something that can be because of your own judgment, or it can be something that you took on, such as from certain religious beliefs or certain collective things that are running around, such as, being born a woman means that there's a shameful element to you, or the being born in sin thing with the Christian church and so on. So there is shame can be either through your own judgment, or it can be just something you take on as, well, I buy into that belief or that presumption that's put onto me that I am shameful, therefore that's how I feel. There. Okay, that was just a little aside. So let's just make sure we have our spine straight so that the energy flows nicely. And let's really get ourselves aligned. So that means connecting up to the highest, brightest, clearest source of love that we can connect into. Through the crown, from the heart, through the crown, all the way up. And also down from the heart, through our body, into the earth, right into the core of the earth, so that our heart is connected with Gaia's heart, source to source, heart to heart, and our heart connected with this highest source that we're connecting into as well. And to expand that connection, so it's like a column of light that holds all of us, our physical body as well as our energetic bodies, the emotional, mental and soul bodies, into this greater connection from source to earth source. Between the earth, our heart, and the highest, clearest source that we can connect into the universe. And allow all of our bodies, physical, etheric, emotional, mental, soul bodies, to come together, to click into place over our center, the higher heart, the heart center, center over center over center. So all the bodies are aligned together. And to really activate that heart center connection with our alignment, and to know that also through our heart connection we connect with the source of all that is. This is where the fragment of source that we are is anchored and centered, and this is how we can connect with the greater being and the greater source that we are. This is where our consciousness needs to be centered into the heart, not the head, not the belly, the heart. And expanding that, allowing the heart to radiate, to be turned on, and filling all of your bodies with love. And to remember that through this, you are connecting to your greater self, the spirit self, and this is who you really are. The Claires and James and Lynnettes and Simons here on the ground, they're not who you really are, they're just personalities that you are expressing through. The bodies on the ground are beautiful sacred vehicles lent to you by Gaia to experience this life. But they are not who you are. Who you are is that greater energy that you are feeling pulsing and loving and radiating. But it needs to be grounded and focused here in the body through the heart and grounded into the earth, heart to heart. And that connection is also through the Antakarana, source to source to source. I am here. I am all that I am. Radiate that love, switch on your heart, switch on your greater potential, your greater presence, right here, right now, grounded. And breathe into that and expand into that. And from this space, allow yourself to really sink really deeply into yourself, present here now. We stay expanded, we stay connected, but we also focusing our awareness into the parts of self that are not so expanded. The parts of self that are committed to mediocrity, to limitedness, to playing small, to doubting, to fearing, to being a victim, to blaming and judging. And let's really allow these parts of us to show themselves. Allow ourselves to show these parts of ourselves to ourselves. And let's start with the physical. Let's really focus our energy and focus and awareness into the physical. Now that's the physical body, but also the realm of physical living and physical activity. And let's see where we are committed to mediocrity, averageness, remembering that mediocrity is not about being better or worse than other people. It's about how much less than a greater potential of all that we could be, we are. Where we are committed to not being as great as we could be. Because of fear, because of beliefs, because of patterns, because of habits. Now let's really feel into any constrictions, limitations that we carry on our physical body and beliefs about the physical body, where we feel that we are weak or not healthy or not resilient or too old, too young, too small, too big, not enough this, not enough that. All the judgments that's there, all the constriction that we have imposed on ourselves by perceiving our bodies in a certain way. And so buying into that reality and living that reality when it doesn't have to be this way. And you get in touch with stuff and you feel it. Just feel it, sit with it, be okay. Acknowledge what's there. Don't try to hide away from it. Make sure you release any judgment you have on these beliefs, these patterns. Remember, you installed those beliefs or patterns to cope, to survive, to fit in. Whatever the reasons were, there were good reasons at the time, I'm sure, as you were. It's just changed now. It's different. You know better. You want to be greater. You are committed to greatness and excellence. And any genetic patterns. And that a lot of this is going to be really unconscious, so we need to kind of sit a bit with all of this. Where there are things running in you that keep you small, keep you limited in a certain perception of yourself, which is less than all that you could be because that's how your parents did it, or that's what's been running in your family, or because you judge certain things about your parents, or about your family, or your lineage, or your ethnic background. Allow these unconscious things to start to reveal themselves to you. Feel them, acknowledge them, shine the light onto them. Breathe into your body. Open it up to reveal all these limiting things that are running without you even knowing. Maybe you're being too hard. Maybe you're not being hard enough. Maybe you're just giving in to a family curse or an old family habit. Your parents or grandparents may have inscribed things into your genes that are fear-based, that are limiting, because at the time they thought it was very important in order to survive, to cope, that this be passed on to the next generation. It may have been about playing small, or hiding, or not shining too brightly, running away, giving up, not presuming that you can attain to anything great, because that's not how it is in your family, or expectation to fit within a certain mold. Sometimes if you're a woman or a man, that applies very differently. Maybe women in your family are expected to be a certain way and men a certain way. Feel it, breathe it, acknowledge it, make your peace with it, release your judgment, and then let it all go. Re-choose new, unlimited potentials of what you can be, of what the body can be. Set yourself free of all of these things that do not have to define you. You can choose to be free. You just have to see them, acknowledge them, feel them, make your peace and let go. And embrace that greater potential that's right there, sitting in potential. But nothing can happen until you remove the obstacles, remove the limitations, and put some focus into these potentials, put some energy into these potentials, energy that's sitting there. It sits there until you put energy and dynamic energy into it and start to actualize it, make something happen with it. Release all judgments that you may have had on your parents, siblings, grandparents, your lineage, your ethnic background. It's time to let go, and you can only let go if you've let go of judgment. Any attachments, sometimes to physical appearance, the need to be pretty in order to gain self-esteem or to belong or to be accepted, or judgment of your physical looks. All of that is limiting. It's just ego and fear keeping you in a cage. It's not about being the brightest, shiniest example of your true self. It's not. Let it go. This is just a vehicle. It's a beautiful, sacred vehicle lent to you by the earth. It's actually made of her body. Honor it and respect it for what it is, but remember, it is just your vehicle through which you are expressing and experiencing earth life. This vehicle can offer great potentials, great abilities, great qualities, but you have to activate those qualities. And you have to remove limitations that are imbued in it or that you are imposing on it. If you go back far enough, your genetic connection will take you back to being related to everyone on the planet. That's how much potential you carry in your genes. You need to remove the limiting programs and activate your wonderful potentials. Some will be stronger than others. Maybe some of you have more Celtic or Asian or African. Maybe your parents were really good at business but really crap at relationships. Embrace the qualities. Let go of the limitations. It's not because the previous generation sucked at something that you have to suck too. You have so much potential there. Do not limit yourself by the past, whether it is your past or the past of your family. Be your best on the physical level. And if you find yourself getting triggered into negativity or deep emotions or deep issues or getting really caught up in what you're finding that's dysfunctional, remember, align and center, expand. Remember, you are bigger than any issue you can find within yourself. You are in charge. You can run the clearing. You can release. You can let go at any time. You just have to make your peace with what's there, acknowledge it, and then let go in favor of the new choice, the greater potential, excellence, commitment to excellence. Remember, excellence is not perfection. Perfection is an illusion. Trying to be perfect will never get you there because you don't even know what perfect is. Nobody can define perfect. So let go of that. It's about the best self, which constantly evolves, and you constantly discover even more greatness that you can be. It's alive, it's moving. So right now, from where you are at, what's the greatest excellence that you can feel into and tune into and align to within your physicalness? And as we continue that cooking up and opening up and releasing on the physical level, let's also expand that to the emotional level. Now, on the emotional level, there's a lot of things that we carry there which keeps us limited and committed to mediocrity. When we are invested emotionally in playing small in order to stay safe, to hide, to not be rejected, to not be hurt. There is the fear of failure or the fear of success. Fear of the responsibility that may come with success. Fear of failure because maybe we feel that we're doomed to fail no matter what we try because we're not good enough. Or if we do succeed, then eventually we'll let people down. Or we will fall apart. Something's going to happen that's not going to be good, so why even try? When we've given up on ourselves, given up on life, given up on trying, just given up. There's nothing that can come after giving up. Unless you stop giving up and care again, start caring, start valuing again, start believing in yourself again. That's where we can have all this emotional baggage so heavy that we're dragging along from all our past hurts, that we haven't let go of, the judgment and the guilt and the shame and the pain. And it slows us down and it causes us to have resistance to trying to expand, to choose love, to be the greatest, excellent self that we can be. The avoidance and denial that we carry because we don't even want to see that baggage, because we're too scared of it or we judge it to be too bad. All of that stuff keeps us away from being excellent, committed to excellence, because we're committed to avoiding and denying when we do that. We're committed to lying to ourselves and cutting off a whole part of our energy because we don't want to look at it. How can you be your best self if you push part of yourself away? If you don't want to face the truth. If you don't want to face the truth. It can't work. So really feel into that part of yourself emotionally that's committed to something else than excellence. Whether it's committed to mediocrity or fear or staying safe or hiding or lying and denying. And just make your peace with it, acknowledge it, sit with it, be with it, and let it go. Realign, re-choose to commit to greatness, to excellence, to unlimited potential, actualizing this potential here now. Starting now, forevermore. The depressed feelings that can come from feeling helpless, feeling victimized, feeling you can't do anything about your issues or life's challenges or your problems, the helplessness, that's an illusion. You are never helpless. You, like any other being in this creation, have the power of free will, and through this power of free will and choice, you define yourself and your destiny. So you got to acknowledge and honor those feelings. Don't judge them. Totally natural to experience that. It's a pretty difficult experience that we have sometimes in this world. Just acknowledge any kind of depression that pops its head up sometimes. You get really discouraged, you get hard on yourself. You feel you're dragging such a burden. Well, you know what? You can unburden yourself. Any kind of clamping down on yourself emotionally because you felt that being emotional was not safe, or it got you into trouble, or people tried to shut you down because you were too expressive. All of that, remove those shackles. Allow yourself to be shiny, great, bright. You can let go. The only person who's hanging on to all of this is you. Let go of judgment, because judgment will keep the energy stuck. Let go of the attachment. If these negative, limiting things within you fulfill a need, feel into what that need is and let go. Because if you have a need to stay small, that's not healthy. If you have a need to keep yourself limited, that's not healthy. There's something that's out of whack there. It needs to be healed, loved, let go of, realigned, committed to excellence, committed to greatness. Letting go of mediocrity. Those of you who are content to just go through the motions, without great aspirations, without aspiring to being more of your best, out of habit, or because it's easy, or because it doesn't upset anyone. You gotta let go of this. That's mediocrity. Any blame and anger, wanting revenge, anything that has to do with hanging on to the past. How limiting is that? You're so focused on stuff that's already happened, that's dead and gone, that you're missing out on the now, missing out on your future. That's not being committed to excellence. The past does not define you unless you let it. Just make your peace with the past. What is gone is gone. Hanging on to all this stuff only punishes you, no one else. And you deserve better than that. You deserve to be great, and the world deserves you to bring your greatness to the plate. The world needs you to bring your greatness to the plate. You got to show up for the show, and you can't do this if you're caught up in battling with the past and wanting revenge for the past and blaming and judging the past. That's all gone, dead and gone, buried 500 years ago. Heal, love, be compassionate with yourself, be kind to yourself, but be firm. Remember, committed to excellence. Hold a healing space. Hold a compassionate space for yourself so that stuff can be brought back to wholeness. You love it, you understand it, you have compassion for it, you're kind to it, but you also make it clear that you're in charge and the past and the unresolved emotions and the fear within you, they need to go. It's time to let go. It's just time. It's that simple. Allowing the releasing. Releasing is not about pushing away, it's about allowing. Once you stop hanging on, you just have to allow, and it will leave. All that fear does not naturally want to be stuck with you. It's only there because you're hanging on to it. So let go. That's how powerful you are. The physical, the emotional. Let's go into the mental. Let's really feel into any beliefs, reality models that we carry which are limiting. The self-concept, the way we perceive ourselves and keep ourselves encaged within a perception of us that is so much less than who we really are. Expectations and roles and masks that we do for ourselves to keep the truth from us, or to stay in the comfort zone, or that we do for other people or the world around us to meet expectations, to be what people want us to be or need us to be, or to not threaten egos around us, to not be too high and mighty in case other people think we're arrogant or too full of ourselves. Remember, arrogance is about claiming to be great when you're not actually great. If you're really great and walking the talk of that and doing the best to be as great as you can be and excel at anything you do and anything you are, and you don't go bragging around about it, making grand claims, and don't make it about your ego, that's not arrogance. That's just greatness. Where the inner critic is still very active instead of having an inner coach. The inner critic will talk you out of having a go, will put you down, will criticize you, make you feel less than, keep you small. The inner coach will encourage you to step up, to have a go, to love yourself, to let go of fear, to expand, to grow, to become more, to excel. That's what you want. So those thoughts that the mind thinks, because you're not the mind. You're much bigger and greater than the mind. The mind is just a tool. You have to remember that. A tool and a bunch of programs that are running because you program your mind to think a certain way, to run a certain way, to work a certain way. So claim that ownership of that. I am not my mind. I have a mind, yet I am not my mind. Or the way that the mind is functioning, if it's not supportive of you being excellent, committing to excellence with the mind, then you got to let go and you got to realign that. You got to train the mind. The mind's a bit like a dog. You got to train it. Catch it when it does the old behaviors. No. We're not doing that anymore. We're committed to excellence now. Inner critic becomes an inner coach, supportive of your growth towards greatness. The perception you have of yourself starts to be more aligned to perceiving your potential for greatness. Your thoughts become more positive, optimistic, and joyful. Not deluded, not like, oh, it's all wonderful and it's all love. No, mind perceives the truth. The denial, the avoidance starts to go because you want to use your mind, and not just the conscious mind, but your higher mind as well, to perceive as much as the truth as possible. The truth about yourself, the truth about your life, the truth about the world, and use that to become even greater, to heal more, to let go more, to expand more. So let go of any limiting perceptions, beliefs, but it's too hard, but I can't, I'll never get there, or I'm not that kind of person. Well, this is not who I am, this is not how I see myself, I'm not smart enough, I'm not strong enough, I'm not fast enough. That can't work, you know. My mother always told me that wouldn't work. Or if I dare be great, then it's dangerous. Or it's selfish. Whatever strange beliefs we can have running in there. So much that we have taken on is just rubbish. If it's not about love, it's not the truth. Truth will always be about unconditional love and above. If it's not about that and expansion into the greater truth of all that is, then it's not the truth. It's just ego. The way we try to control with the mind, understand everything, make sense of it, put it into boxes, put labels on everything so it has names that we can cope with and have control about. All of that is ego. Greater truth cannot be confined within those boxes of the conscious mind. So surrender the control of the mind and put the mind back to its rightful place as a tool, part of the vehicle. It's not in charge, you are. The mind does not try to grasp things it's not able to grasp. You're not going to teach advanced arithmetics to a dog. It's not going to happen. The dog will never be able to really get it. In the same way, your mind cannot make sense of greater truth. And spiritually, now we're all still holding the physical, the emotional, the mental. Let's go into the spiritual level and feel into any limitations that we have on that level, where we consider to not be very spiritual or not be able to achieve great spiritual actualization and mastery. Where we feel that, oh, we're not able to, we don't have the capacity or the ability to really connect with spirit, to really have greater knowing, to really receive guidance, to be loved, where we don't allow spirit in. Maybe because we don't feel good enough, or beautiful enough, or perfect enough. And we don't want God to see us as we really are. Good luck. Where we don't want to ground too much the spiritual self because we judge the human self. How limiting is that? My God, we could have such a wonderful experience and be excellent human beings as well as excellent spirits. We're limiting lenses, judgments, perceptions that are distorted, that are all about being less than and fear and not good enough, all that stuff. Let it go. That's commitment to mediocrity. We are realigning to being committed to greatness and excellence on all levels. Spiritual. Knowing that you are and are capable of so much more than you ever believed or realized. But that's not about ego. It's not about being special or making grand claims about anything. It's about simply and quietly going about your business or being the greatest spirit in human form that you can be. Living fully on all levels. But being so much more than just a human living a great life. So about being a great spirit, connecting with the greater spirit of all that is. Surrendering. It's not about you. It's just about embodying greatness itself. And allow that to free flowingly and freely through the human expression, physically, emotionally, mentally, and at soul levels. The soul that had traveled through many lifetimes with all the baggage and the illusions that the soul can carry, because the soul can still carry illusions and fear and baggage that you haven't let go of for all this time. The past is gone. You don't have to know what the story is or what life it was or how it was. Just let go of anything you feel energetically in your field that resonates, which is like a block or a limitation or stuckness or a fear or a shrinking. making room for the greatness of the Spirit self to fully inhabit this vehicle. Spirit is always committed to greatness, to unlimitedness. The greatness here in this life and in any other life you have here on earth can only happen if you allow it to be here on the ground, present, activated, radiating, happening on the physical, emotional, mental and soul levels. If it's not exploding in all directions, if it's not open and radiating and flowing and radiating and loving and growing, then there's something in the way. Important to be aware of all the sabotage, patterns. Anytime we try to have a go, the doubt that can come in, the patterns that can come in, like wanting to do it all yourself when help is offered and could really be wonderful to work with that help in order to achieve success. Or when you're trying to control everything from the mind, or you're getting carried away into doing something for someone else all the time, and then you lose sight of what's really a priority in your life and your process. Or you get very forgetful about stuff and it starts sabotaging your success. Or you always just come up with lots of ways to keep yourself busy so that you get distracted from what's important and end up missing the deadline or doing it too late, or you have all that resistance from all that baggage and guilt and shame that you're hanging on to. That makes it really hard work, so that you just, the more you try, the more it gets really slow and heavy, and in the end you just give up. Or you do it too late. Or the lazy self that just, can't be bothered. It's too hard. Why bother? Oh, it's not worth it. Might as well just sit here and do nothing. Or, I've had to go for one day. I deserve a break now. I can rest. I've been a good girl, a good boy. All of that, let it go. Be aware. Switch your awareness onto all of these things, these programs, these beliefs, these patterns, these unconscious motivators and strategies running, so that you can let go and feel into what the potential is behind and beyond all of that. Can you get a sense of that greater potential? Can you feel your true spirit self in all its radiance? And how that would be if you really allowed it to shine through this human being that you are here on earth, living a human life with joy and courage and optimism and clarity, seeking the truth and realizing the truth as much as possible. How much more you could achieve in your actions, in your speech, in your thinking, in your feeling and emotions, in your physical, in your spiritual activation. Get a sense of that. How much more there is to you and how much more there is to life. Feel that. Allow yourself to be inspired. Allow yourself to even get excited a bit. It's all right. There is so much more. There is so much more. And you are worthy of that so much more. You belong with that so much more. You can choose to embrace that so much more right now and start the journey to that so much more. Remember that it keeps moving. There's always so much more after so much more. And you have to find your own unique way to be that so much more. Not one of you is like the other. And your journey will always be unique. But you gotta let go of the old commitments and the old limitations and embrace that. Perceive where there is a gap between that greater potential and where you are now. And allow yourself to commit to yourself, to the God within, and the universe be my witness, to commit to greatness and to notice whenever something in you gets in the way, trying to commit to mediocrity or limit, and just be okay, acknowledge, make your peace, let go, realign to greatness, excellence. There is nothing within you that is not redeemable and worthy of that greatness. Absolutely nothing. It's all just rubbish. It's all just lies. Not to be judged, no judgment at all. It's just so yesterday, time to move on. Really anchor that sense of your potential, that greatness, that excellence. Commit to it. Really ground that. Really make it solid in your heart, solid in your mind, solid in your body, solid in your emotions, solid in your soul. Realign, all of you just looking in that direction, that greatness, that potential. Nothing is going to stop me. No matter how hard I have to work, no matter how much I have to let go, no matter how scary it is, no matter how challenging of my comfort zone it is, I'm committed, absolutely 200%. You can make that choice. No one can make it for you. And you have to keep making that choice every time. Remember prior commitment to excellence and greatness. In humility, in balance, in compassion, in wisdom, greatness. Your own unique expression of greatness. And really anchor it, really ground it, really keep it with you and make that commitment. Remember to orient yourself and renew that day after day after day. Really ground it, really expand into it right here, right now. Breathe it, live it, see it, think it, feel it, act it. Radiate it, be filled with it. This is who I really am. And you don't have to wait till you cleared your stuff to be that. You already are. That potential is already right here. So start identifying with it right now. And all the stuff that's not yet in alignment with that, all the fear and the blocks and limitations that are still here, that's not who you are. That's just part of the stuff that you have to process and the baggage you have to let go of. Who you are is that potential. You don't have to wait for anyone's permission or to get anywhere to embody that. You can do it right here, right now. And then it's a process of making more and more space for it, to be a clearer and clearer embodiment and expression of that greater potential as you can be. But you can already embody this right now. Choose it. Make it so, and so it is. I am. I am love. I am greatness. I am wisdom. I am all that I am.